Well, folks, I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. It's coming. The day that we've all feared more than any other. Adam wants to leave. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to more Norwich City. Bouncing back, and I hope you're very well. It's not really the news we want to start with. Adam Eder, the star of the save, really has decided he wants to leave. He wants to go somewhere else where he can have better playing time. And you know what? You can't really blame him because he's not been playing particularly regularly. He still has some games for sure, but mostly off the bench. And the reason for that is that he just sort of stopped scoring. He's had the first 4 years he was undroppable. He was so good, so consistently brilliant, and then it just sort of kind of fell to pieces a little bit, and we had to get other players in. But despite his desire to leave, I'm not going to let him go without a fight. I'll be doing everything I can to see if we can persuade him. This is the kind of thing that Christoph Zimmermann would have sorted out, but now he's gone. No one else is particularly good at persuading people to just shut up and drop their concerns. Greg Taylor wants to go as well, but should be all right. The other big one, Emi Buendia wants to leave as well, which, quite frankly, I'd be fine with. I've tried to sell him this window. No one's interested. But aside from that unhappy news, the on-pitch action has actually been really quite good this season, which I've no doubt will hit a cliff at some point, just because that's just what seems to happen, has so far been going still really quite well. We'll look at the league table in a minute, but since last time's frustrating draws against Southampton and Chelsea, either side of them has been a series of brilliant wins. I don't know why I've started recording again. As I said a few episodes ago, should have just gone to the end of the season. Never mind showing you what happens in the middle of it. But anyway, West Ham was a 1-0 win. Dominic Solanke scored. You'll notice a theme amongst the goal scorers, which we'll talk about in a minute. Newcastle was a 3-0 win as well. Solanke, Maddison, and look, Adam scored. He was playing in that game. He scored in that game. Aston Villa was a 1-0 win in the FA Cup third round. We then destroyed West Brom 4-0. Phillips with 2. Both of them absolutely fantastic strikes. Chris Mepham and Dominic Solanke with the goals there as well. Leicester was then a 2-0 win. They're in the relegation zone. In fact, I think they're actually bottom of the league at the moment. Not a good season. They had Steve Bruce in charge, which is probably why they're struggling. But Solanke scored, as did David Brooks, for another 3 points. But then it all came to not a crashing halt, a screeching halt, but just a halt. We have lost in the league for the first time this season. In fact, really, because we only got knocked out of the Carabao Cup on penalties, really the first time all season. So to go until January undefeated in the league is really quite good. So yeah, disappointing that it happened, but it's been a fantastic run. It was a 1-0 defeat in the end to Manchester City. 86-minute penalty from Gabriel Jesus. Should we have gone defensive a minute before like we normally do? Yeah, we should have done. Every time I don't, something goes wrong. So yeah, irritating, but I don't know. It had to happen sooner or later. We then bounced back straight away though by beating Tottenham 2-1. Brooks and Dele Alli against his old club with the goals there. And most recently was a 2-2 draw against Liverpool in the FA Cup fourth round, because of course we have to play Liverpool. Not the semi-final this year, I suppose, at least, but I want to go through if we can, because I want to do well in the FA Cup. That's one of the things the board want. We were 2-0 down inside 16 minutes. I thought this is going to be pretty brutal, but 2 goals from that man. He's earned the that man status. Dominic Solanke earned us a replay, which I'm not too thrilled about. It's going to be today, although I'm not going to show you it in great detail. As said last time, Sheffield United and Blackburn Rovers are going to be today's opponents, but we'll have to we have to go through this as well anyway. And while I think about it, make sure you leave a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe as well so you don't miss what happens in the rest of this season, which has just been, we're on for our best ever season. It could all go wrong, but well, let's hope not. I've just noticed February is completely away games. That should be illegal. That's not acceptable at all. Anyway, let's look at the Premier League table before we talk about the current informed man. And as you can see, we are in 3rd place. It's been a long time since we've been anywhere near this high. In fact, I don't think we ever have on a consistent basis. 3rd place, 48 points. We are actually maybe in a title race. Maybe. We are 2 points behind Manchester United above us. We are only 7 points behind Chelsea. And we have 2 games in hand. We've still got to play them. But 2 games in hand. We've dropped quite a few points. If you look at the draws, 9 draws. We've talked about this. But obviously the Chelsea game, Southampton game, the Man United game, the Wolves game, the Sheffield United game, and the Spurs game, we were leading in all of those matches. In the case of Wolves and Sheffield United, and I think Southampton at the very least, we were leading until the closing stages. So if we'd held on, we would maybe, we would be pretty almost top of the league if we'd done even just a couple of them. Certainly we're closer than Chelsea, and with the games in hand, it would be in our hands to win the title. I don't think that's going to happen though, but we are 1 point clear of Liverpool. They've got a game in hand though. The most important thing though, of course, we want to be getting top 6 and qualifying for the Europa League. There's a gap. There is a gap back to 7th place Everton of quite a few points. We're 11 points clear of them with a game in hand, so that should be all right. We shall see though, but the team for this one is going to be looking like this, and Dean Henderson's going to be in goal. Lewis, Roberts, Mepham and Aaron's of course the defence. Cook cannot play today because he is unfortunately suspended, but Harry Winks comes in for him. Phillips and Maddison is the rest of midfield. I mean, Hamza Chowdhury's done well this season, but Calvin Phillips has been definitely more prolific, so he gets the nod today. This is the big one though. Dominic Solanke is going to be starting on the left hand side. We bought him in for pretty big money last season from Bournemouth, and he didn't really pull up any trees. But this year he has been really quite good. Quite simply, although he is advertised as a striker, although he's meant to be a striker, he's not really a striker, at least not in this system. He doesn't do particularly well. But as a left winger, he's fantastic. Because he's got reasonable crossing and dribbling, and he's not the quickest, but he's not the slowest either. The 15 finishing on the wing in this system, we've seen the improvement just from having David Brooks, who has exceptional finishing for a winger. Well, having Solanke with his 15 finishing on the other side, 15 finishing on either side, coupled with McCartney up front, the midfielders as well, pressing forwards, particularly Maddison and Phillips, it seems to be working quite well. How it gets on today, though, now that I'm recording, I don't know. Of course, Sheffield United, one of the teams who have scored a late equaliser against us to cost us 2 points this season. They did it last year as well. So, yep, I'm really optimistic about this one. I mean, these Team Talk options are terrible. I mean, we'll say we're the favourites. At least that's motivated most of them. That's something, I suppose. See what we can do. Right, we got a highlight early on in the first half, which Calvin Phillips has hit the post. That was encouraging, I suppose. We haven't had the most thrilling matches when it comes to episodes recently. They've just been either side. The players know that this is going on YouTube, so let's just hope it's actually more interesting today. Already a highlight, but not much since then. Clearly a false dawn, nothing at all. It's half time. Neither side has had a shot on target. I'm not happy with your performance. Sheffield United being very defensive, but I feel if we go for this more, they've got Brewster and Ali, two very quick strikers. Ball's going to go over the top of the defence. But if we don't do anything, then nothing will happen at all. We'll at least go positive. I've said how amazing Solanke's been. He's on a 6.4, obviously. Don't want to change anything else particularly, because I do fear this Sheffield United side. They're not a bad team by any means. And here's the second highlight. It's them coming forwards. Are they going to score? Brewster, we cut it away, but it only goes back to them. I mean, the run we've been on, again, it really is just, they know. I feel every episode is me just sort of ranting about how the fact that as soon as I pick a game for an episode, suddenly we start not playing well. We've got a chance here. Solanke with a knockdown, working it through the middle, through the right-hand side. Phillips pressing forward. McCartney's there. Murray McCartney has missed the target. 16 finishing, 18 composure he's got there. Wouldn't know it. Dominic Solanke on a 6.2. We praised him to the heavens. He's not played well. We'll bring on Marcus Edwards and Dele Alli. We'll bring on Adam as well. He wants to leave. Show me why we should be playing you, Adam. Come on. There's seconds left. What? 2 highlights. Again. I mean, it's not going to happen, is it? Oh, here we go. Final chance. Maddison in. Adam. Phillips. He's scored. He's offside, I think. Well, that was some late drama. Are we going to get this? It's been called back for offside. Brilliant. Really, they got my hopes up there. Was this offside? I've had a few dodgy offsides recently. It is. Adam went offside, so it was Adam's fault there. He's done that on purpose because he's upset. Not great, but hey, at least we didn't lose, although that's the kind of game we should be winning, isn't it? That was so dull, I actually started replying to my work emails on my phone to liven up a bit, says Keaton. Well, fair enough. It's just... it is actually quite funny at this point how often that has happened this season. I mean, you can see the episodes that we've recorded. Let's just have a look. So the first one was interesting. That was 4-0. But since then, what have we got? We've got a draw and a win with a total of 3 goals. We've then got these 2 draws here, and now some really good form. Lots of goals, lots of action. Nope, 0-0 draw, obviously. Very frustrating, but actually not too damaging, because Man City and Chelsea have drawn. Arsenal have actually lost to Newcastle. That's quite bad for them. Liverpool obviously win though, because that's just them really, isn't it? I will see you in a few days where I'll just sort of show you what happens with the Liverpool game. We're not going to focus on it in any great detail though. Right, the transfer window's shut. We haven't signed anybody, and we didn't sell Emi Buendia. No one was interested, but we have sold Ryan Atkinson here to Leeds for 9.5 million. We signed him, I believe, for really cheap, £275,000 from Crusaders. So yeah, I mean that's business. Well, we're out of the FA Cup. Pretty spirited performance, but Liverpool, they're just better than us. So only a 1-0 defeat. It's not too bad. Unlucky, don't be too downhearted. At least it frees up the fixture list a bit as the season goes on. Right, can we try for a win then? Blackburn, ordinarily you'd think that would be a win. They're just above the relegation zone. They're doing considerably better than they were last time they were in the division. And if we do win this, shouldn't say this, but if we do, we will go up to 3rd. Liverpool just lost to Sheffield United, which makes me feel considerably better about the fact that we did draw with them. Right, Solanke's got a cold, which, I mean, you should be able to play with that. That shouldn't be causing too many issues, you'd hope. Obviously, Lewis Cook, we played him in the cup game, still suspended for the league game, so Harry Winks comes back in. Otherwise, no changes, although the recent form for certain players that you can see has been really bad. James Maddison, I've criticised him. Solanke, McCanny as well. I think we might have to drop Murray McCanny, but the problem is that would then result in us either playing Solanke up front and then presumably Buendia on the left, or we play Eder up front, who's not been great either. I'm going to stick with him for now. I'm backing him to get out of his form, play his way out of his poor form. Probably a fatal mistake. This has 1-0 defeat written all over it. They're probably going to score in the first minute and then just sit back and defend. I'm not going to say we're the favourites. I'm going to, let's say we could potentially move into a qualification place. We could, that's true. Don't want to just put too much pressure on them. They never really respond particularly well to pressure. Of course, even if we do draw this game, that would take us to 50 points. We would actually still go up to 3rd based on goal difference and things like that. And that would give us just 10, we'd be just 10 points shy of where we were last season with 13 games to go, which is quite good. But let's just try and win, shall we? Still nothing. There's been one shot on target. It's been Blackburn. So my strategy of playing out of form players isn't working. They've got a free kick, which Henderson makes a brilliant save to stop from going in. And that wasn't really great, was it? At least we haven't conceded, I suppose. But, well, yeah, the strategy of getting these guys to play their way back into form hasn't worked. I'm far from pleased with what I've just seen. I'm not going to throw the old water bottle. I think a change is needed pretty early on. Solanke's not playing well, I think, mostly because of his cold. So we'll bring on Dele Alli now. Hopefully he can just do something. We got a chance early on. Hayden Roberts with the throw, gets it back from Brooks, and can we just actually do something useful? Phillips across, James Maddison's there. It's a good chance. That should have at least hit the target. Second half draining away. At least it's not going to be a very long video, I suppose. There's just nothing happening. I think we're going to have to switch the old system up at this point. Go for the more attacking one just to see if we can break them down a little bit. Just make it. It's literally here, isn't it? Just go with this. See if we can do something slightly more interesting. I think I'm going to bring on Chowdhury for Calvin Phillips as well. Just try and get a bit of life into them. Brooks is very tired. Roberts is also got a bit of an injury. He's got a twisted knee. He's going to have to stay on really because I'm going to have to take off David Brooks' thing. Anyway, we've got a throw. Chowdhury, he's got quite good throws. That's not a good example of them, but we do recover the ball. Harry Winks, can we actually please just work a chance? Score a goal. That'll be something. Max Aarons on the right, goes to the byline, back to Chowdhury. He's run all the way across, taking the throw. Dele Alli's there. It's over again. Not quite the impact I was wanting from Ali, to be honest. David Brooks is having a good game, but his fitness is, and given his injury record, I don't want to risk him. We'll bring on Marcus Edwards. So often the saviour. Is it going to be today? It's not looking like it, is it? And that is going to be, is another 0-0? Another 0-0. There we go. I do pick them, don't I? It's literally embarrassing at this point how I successfully pick these games. Once again, we should have won, but I guess the positive is that last season we would have lost this game, I think. Do I make them come into training? I think I do, because they've not been good enough recently. They're motivated by that, which is something. Might have to do the old team meeting in a minute. Zane, that was honestly one of the most boring games of football I can ever remember seeing. I mean, yes. I mean, yes. The fact that you've had there 2-0 draws, really, I could not have picked any better. McCanny, I've criticised him, I've praised him, I've criticised him again. Started off the season really well, has now just decided that he doesn't want to try and score a goal, really. He's turned 20, that's probably why. We've got Liverpool again up next. That's really good. Adam will play in that one, because why not, really? Why not at this point? Otherwise, I'll have a think about it. Yeah, not great, but, as I say, at least if this is sort of the bad patch of form, which you always seem to get, at least we haven't actually dropped too many points. Yes, we should obviously have beaten Sheffield United and Blackburn, obviously, but if we just went out of the races and we end up drawing 0-0 rather than losing 1-0, which we would have done last season, then okay, I'll take that. I will take that. Yes, that was definitely plenty of points dropped. There are far tougher tests to come, but it's not awful. We've got 50 points. We are still in third place. We should be winning this league, by the way. We absolutely should. Certainly should be closer to Chelsea if nothing else. But you know what? It's not awful. 50 points. Yes, it's very close. But the most important thing, as we said at the start of the season, is to get back in the Europa League. We have got quite a bit of a buffer. Well, 10 points to Everton in 7th. Now, who's going to win the League Cup? Southampton versus Manchester United. So that's coming up quite soon. We want Man United to win that, because if Southampton win it, obviously that means 7th place. I mean, we're not interested in 7th anyway, so it's 6th. That's what we're interested in. It's 9 points to Man City. That is the key thing there. I mean, it's a little bit of a blip, but hey, at least we've not lost. The morale is now awful. Well, I mean, I suppose good isn't awful, but you know what I mean. It's fallen off massively because of that. Hopefully things will recover for next time, we're going to come back for the Newcastle Southampton games at the end of the season, because as soon as I press record, it all just goes wrong. It really is. Look at this wonderful form, which you didn't see. Look at this wonderful form, which you didn't see. It's not been particularly interesting this season, has it? Anyway, we will be back next time for Europa League second knockout round action, both legs, as well as Brighton and Hove Albion. No idea who we're going to play. They've not even played the first leg of the first knockout round yet, but there's plenty of teams in here who are quite scary. Monaco, Salzburg, Roma are in here as well, Porto, AC Milan. I mean, I say that. We did beat AC Milan in the final a few years ago, so who knows? But that'll be next time. Hopefully we will have scored a goal since then. That would be encouraging. What was the last goal you actually saw in an episode? It was this one, Murray McCanny. Literally the last time Murray McCanny scored a goal was the last one that you saw. Anyway, that is going to be that for today. I really do pick them, don't I? I really do pick them. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe as well, and I will see you next time.